Hello again, Keith Loki back with another episode for the colony. In the prior video, we finally got our power bank out here, so now our mineral and metal base is mining at full efficiency with no issue with running out of power. So, now what we have left to do is bring back Bill and Jebediah. And how many supplies do we have left? We have a fair bit of supplies left, so we have nothing to worry about them starving. I don't know if they will care or not anymore, because there was a few changes I saw to the mod since I last used it. One of them was, I mentioned in, I think 2 videos ago, that if you lock the supply resource and they go hunting for it, they will, end up dumping the whole supply bank, even if they have more than enough in there to last them like 10 years, and you'll end up with 0 years left. They switched it to it will auto unlock instead. But let's go ahead and get out. What did I destroy? Once this gets into favorable height, say about 20,000, I'm going to jump back there and just make sure I did not destroy anything, because I might have. And I did. Ooh. Okay, we're going to F9 quickly reload that save. Ooh. Ooh. Why am I back here? Oh yeah, I saved here. Shoot. Okay, it's just gonna be a few minutes to reattach everything. That kind of sucks. I thought I did move that surveyor probe between videos, and I guess it didn't take hold. Inventory. That sucks. Oh no, I didn't save because it was moving when I tried to autosave. Well, that's... Reattach all these again. Okay. So, close. What we'll do is we'll try and use those RCS thrusters instead, because they're a bit away. They might be able to just... They might be able to just say screw it and work properly. Or not work properly. Be able to push us away enough. If not, I can just rotate myself and get a good distance away. That one there. Oh. Forgot to reactivate my screen lock for a second. No issue. Minimus and RCS are just so hard to use. Insufficient power. Back to the insufficient power issue. So, at least I did have a save here, because that would have been so annoying if friggin' that whole friggin' bottom base was destroyed by me taking off, which I kind of find annoying now, because it used to be, in most instances, it's not terrible. Like, in my caveman challenge, I used it as a way to easily decouple stages without having to worry about the part count, because it would just blow up the prior SRB and I could use it to get to orbit. But in this, it's slightly a more insufficient damaging thing, which I guess it is what it is. It's better because it's more realistic. You shouldn't be able to fire full engines against another part of the ship and not have it implode upon itself, but it'd be nice if it was not as strong for the weaker engines, because the engine on this is a really high ISP but a really low thrust ratio. Worst comes to worst though, I can just do a little jerry rigging. So we need to start mineral drill, Extend panels. So we're gonna autosave right before I do this, and then try and do it again, because I don't want to have to deal with all this over and over again trying to get it to work, and then also have to deal with freaking this all screwing up. It was kind of funny because it looked like it was fine when I initially pulled away, but then boom, everything screwed up. So let's decouple. Oh, it works. Okay, we're just gonna set that there for a second so I can rename this. I just want to rename this to metal and mineral base. Oh, we also want to make it a base. So these guys are heading home. I'm glad I put that amount of RCS thrusters on this, because without that, it probably wouldn't have been able to do this. So we want to go this way. And off to Kerbal we go. Kerbin, not Kerbal. Kerbal's the sun. That would have been bad. We aren't Icarus. So, onward to home now. So now we just gotta bring ourselves back. And then the next mission, we can probably actually do that while we're here. We can find another base, because we're gonna need to find another location for our substrate and water. Which, with substrate and water, we should be able to find one. Not relatively too hard, because I believe those do cross along with carbonite. Oh yeah, I forgot to install that again. But yeah, we'll have to install carbonite sooner or later. Is it carbonite? Yeah, it's carbonite. So we can then use that resource. For some reason, I guess Umbra Space Industries colony mod doesn't include its standard. You have to use the external mod, which I think I did have it, but I uninstalled it because I don't like those friggin' turbojet fan engines. I don't know why. Or those carbonite engines, not turbojet engines. What are you talking about? I just find them very annoying and ridiculous. It's the Carbonian engines, that's what I'm meaning. I've tried to use them so many times and it's just like, oh, you can't use these engines. They're so high energy. No, come on. Ah, that's good enough. Let's see if I can bring it down. Even though I don't need to, I have more than enough fuel left in this stage to do what I need to do. I'll just have to break in the upper atmosphere, which might be a bit difficult, but it shouldn't be too bad, because with the engine I have, they're vacuum engines. If I'm too far into the atmosphere, it won't break quickly, but with enough time, I can break no problem. So oh shoot, I didn't thrust hard enough, or I thrusted too hard and it caused me to, there we go. With these engines, they're vacuum engines, so I'm gonna hit Minimus again. That's kind of funny, actually. But the further I get into the atmosphere, the worse they are going to be with trying to brake. That was a perfect maneuver to get it. Ooh, let's grab that. That will give me a ton of fuel. And give me a nice little... There we go. That's the best. Well, not the best I'm going to do, but that's the closest I'll get. Shoot. That don't matter. I got a ton of fuel left, so I can just use this to brake. I'm about to brake. But yeah, with these engines, they're really low fuel engines, so I don't have to worry about wasting all my fuel trying to lower myself into it. Come on. The moon is just screwing me up. Come on, get past the moon. Or let me get to the point where I'm at a really low orbit around Kerbin. There we go, actually. That'll probably let me keep a fair amount of fuel so I can then do an orbital maneuver. Or not an orbital maneuver, a braking measure when I get to there. Which will bring me down to a suitable orbit to land. Well, not land. Crash down slowly. Because I don't have any landing legs on this thing. It's a parachute-based descent. And I have a heat shield, so I just gotta wait for my heat to drop. Oh, not my heat, my speed to drop. Oh. And that will add an extra 8 thrust to this. And free up some weight. Oh, no. So I don't have enough fuel for this. So I'm going to have to do a couple orbital maneuver, or orbital times around the orbit to get low enough. Oh, that kind of sucks. Okay, so we just need to orbit a few times. This is going to take a little while. I wish I could speed up more, but I can't. Yeah, I don't have enough fuel left. I wish I could throw friggin' snacks out the window, but... So we'll put ourselves into a non-aerostream based orbit. Because if we're pointing into the wind with the broadest side of the ship, it should bring us down quicker. Because if I go to here, we're still gonna go down, but it's gonna take a lot more time. And the more I bring down that end of the orbit, the better. I wish I still had a bit of fuel left. Like, just a bit of RCS thrust would probably friggin' save... Not save us, but help keep us from friggin' having to deal with this. I hate when this happens. It happens every once in a while to me, and I usually just say screw it and reload, but we're just going to go ahead and deal with this. As soon as that gets down a fair bit, like, it looks like we're dropping by 10k per thing, and this is dropping only like 100 meters. I did not expect that to happen. I thought I had enough fuel to do this, but I guess I was wrong. Actually, it seems like it's dropping by like 25k. Or it dropped by 25k this time, maybe even 30k, if, depending on when I get out of the atmosphere. Closer to 25k. And this dropped only 200 meters. God damn it. So a few more passes and we should be back into the atmosphere. We have more than enough supplies to continue doing this. More than enough electric charge to keep us at the optimum slow re-entry speed. And this with the recent 1.0 Kerbal heating system, this is probably the best way to come into a planet with minimal issues of dying in a fiery blaze where you come crashing into the water or something like that, or the ground. But it is also the longest method to do this, which kind of sucks. In most cases, I try to keep at least one RCS tank at lock status. So you won't use the fuel and all that, and you really, with RCS fuel, you won't notice if you don't have RCS fuel if you have enough torque. Usually I have a fair bit of torque on my ships because I hate not being able to turn my ship easily, so I throw that on there, and then if I run out of RCS, I lose a little bit of it, but not my full amount of torque, just that little tiny bit. Well, having that last bit of RCS, even though it's like really shitty ISP, like one of those thrusters I have on right now is like 240 ISP, but that 60 fuel when it's using like 0.2 fuel a second, it can give you maybe about 250 to 500 delta V, depending on how much you have and how big your craft is. But if you just have a smaller turner craft, like this one here would probably give me 250 to 500 delta V, which in this situation would probably push me to either a really low apophysis, or I can never say those words. I still want to figure out how to say apophysis. I'm just gonna say apophysis. Sounds like a possum, but fucking stupid space jargon. But it would have pushed me to either under 100k or brought me into the orbit on both ends. Oh shit. I'm back into space. Probably only another 3 or 4 orbits, which it sucks that I'm stuck in this, but I don't want to lose Bill and Bill and Jebediah. Jeb's my favorite Kerbal, just like everyone else's though, so it's nothing really special. Bill's my second favorite. I haven't really used Val that much. I don't know why. She's another badass Kerbal, just she's female, which doesn't have any part in it at all. I don't know. She just has been recently added, and she's the 4th in the queue, so usually the most I use in a craft is 2, maybe 3, so auto-loading the first 4 Kerbals, she never really gets a flight. Usually I only use her where it's an emergency situation, where, say, Jebediah and all them are stuck on another planet. I'll send her. She always comes to the rescue. We're down to 270, and this is down another 1,000 meters since we started. We go up to 120. It's so annoying with this. So we're probably another... this is dropping kind of quickly, but it's still going to be probably another 3 orbits, which kind of sucks. I was thinking on doing another freaking video, or another... this video was mainly going to be substrate and water, but this friggin' kind of screwed up that whole idea. The next video will have to be that. At least I'm bleeding off a ton of height, because this has still got 10k to go, and this is dropping like a k every like 3 or 4 seconds. So I should be down to like 220 by the time this gets into orbit again, or into space. Oh, I might be wrong on that. Yeah, it's slowed down. Coming back in, another 30k to go, and we're back in orbit. Oh yeah, I'm in orbit, I can't go above 4. So I should be able to bleed down to 200k, and this is almost another k done. It's like halfway there. We just got to the lowest height, let off 20k, so we should be able to burn off another 20k if everything works out the same coming out as going in. Sorry about that, my phone just went off. So we're coming out of orbit again, and we're down to 186. I really wish this would go quicker. This is probably not going to be an interesting episode because of it, which kind of sucks. But at least it shows a mechanic to get back into orbit. It's better to, especially in career mode, it's better to get the lower end as close to the planet as you need down to like below the point where the atmosphere part starts, then have to send another mission to either nudge it into suborbital range or supply it with enough fuel to do it itself. In some cases, doing or supplying with enough fuel to do it itself isn't too bad. Like you can bring up a small probe with even just a small amount of fuel, like 25 to like 30 fuel for it, and then send that probe back to burn up in the atmosphere, and then have this thing push itself into the atmosphere. Or just send that probe up and just nudge up against it and push, and then it will fall closer and closer to the planet along with the probe, and then they both burn up in the atmosphere. But in some cases it's better just to use the easiest method out there. Just being patient. Is it back in? No, another 8,000 meters. And I say probably about, if we're lucky, maybe one more orbit. I really hope we're lucky in the sense that it's only one more orbit, because this is kind of boring to me, to be honest. I hate having to deal with this. I wish I just saved a little bit more fuel. Like that RCS, like when I went to 4 times speed and it was like all jumping around, like RCS fuel, if you don't keep an eye on it, it wastes so friggin' easily. Because the ship's trying to balance itself when it doesn't need to balance itself. Like say if you're locked onto one of the nodes, like say the anti-normal or anti-radial or any, or prograde or retrograde, it will use the freaking monopropellant like it's crack cocaine to a freaking crackhead. It doesn't make any sense. It should just use it when you want to do heavy maneuvers. But it is what it is. It's how it works out. The best method, though, is to only use mono-repellent when you mean to. Turn it off when you're not going to use it. Turn it off, or turn it on when you need it. Even though that's a good idea, I didn't follow it during this. I didn't follow that when I came back to the planet, so it screwed me over in a sense. So what are we at now? 93. If we're lucky, we should be able to... I think we actually will. This is the final orbit. Ugh, that electronic cigarette smoke is too strong. I'm using a brand that I'm not used to. Ugh. I've been off island for the last week also, and off island or traveling and like being on vacation, and it sucks when you like friggin' are sick the whole time. I spent most of the time just like chilling in my room, not doing anything. Like I couldn't record, which kind of made me angry because I wanted to post all last week, and I had like 1 or 2 videos posted, but I just didn't have the energy, let alone the ability to speak, to be able to post. And I just sat there playing Fallout 4, which is a awesome game on its own, but it doesn't feel like a fully fledged Fallout games like New Vegas. I love New Vegas. New Vegas was friggin' awesome, but the latest iteration is, it's great in a sense, but it's missing something. I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's missing something. So we're coming in now. Let's ditch that stage. Start using that heat shield, because we're going to be hitting the atmosphere at a fair amount of speed, actually. I'm actually surprised how hard we're going to be hitting the atmosphere. And, oh, it's slowly ticking down now. We should come into the atmosphere at, well, the flame part, or the part where we start producing visible flame will probably be at like 2,000 meters per second. We do have a decent ablator on it. It is starting to lose points, but I think we'll have enough to be fine. And we might lose those little frickin' piping connectors, but that's no issue. The worst case scenario is the parachute doesn't have enough force on it, or enough drag on it. If it does, we'll lose Bill and Jeb for only a little bit, because I think I do have respawn Kerbals on this. I usually always include that because I hate losing my main 4 guys. They're my favorite ones. Then you have all these randomly named ones that just don't feel the same. Let's speed up time a little bit. There's the heat effects. I want to keep out of the heat stream. So I really wish they actually included heating effect sounds, because right now there's not really much to it. Like, you have the normal wind effects. I don't even know if there are any wind effects. Ambiance, maybe? Is that what I have off? Oh, there we go. I thought they didn't include it, but they kinda do. Not kinda, actually, they do include it. This should be able to protect us till we get landed. We might land in the water depending on how quickly that shield goes off and how quickly we lose speed. So right now we're only ticking down very slowly. The closer we get to dark blue, we should be fine. Or not dark blue. Dark blue is when we're in. We're normal blue, or just blue. The closer we get to that, the quicker we'll slow down. We're below 2,000 now, and we still have a ton of frigging ablator left. These ablators just, they feel like they're created for Eve mainly, because I don't see a purpose. If you come in at a decent angle and off, or not like going crazy when you're trying to land, you should have no problem with running an ablator. But if you come into Eve, or even Kerbin, at an angle that's just straight down, with no rocket engine and all that, even if you get to the speed that will allow you to pull your chute, you're still going to crash into the planet no matter what. Yeah, I'm going into water for this, which isn't too bad as long as I slow down enough. But I should have put a friggin' decoupler on the ablator, even though it's not needed. I used to think it was needed, thinking it was like really a ton of weight for this shit. But all in all, it's only maybe a tenth of your landing stage if you have a certain amount of weight to it. Like, we're already 1,000 speed, so we still have 15k left, and we're stopping on the heating. Our ablator is not evaporating anymore, so we're good now, and we didn't even use those connectors. Now we just gotta wait until we get to a point where we're slowed down enough. Let's quick save, because I don't want to have like a 5-minute descent, so I'm gonna wait till we're really low. We'll pull it at 1,000. So, there we go. Bill and Jebediah are back on the planet. The automated mineral and metal ore and uranite factory, or not factory, mining station is set up now. So, we are set to start bringing our substrate and water miners to Minimus, get them all set up so we can then supply our orbital stations once we set that up to start building a new base of operations for the Kerbals, so we can then, instead of wasting so much fuel in Delta V in Kerbin's atmosphere, we can waste just a little bit by escaping Minimus instead. I'm going to end the video here. I thank you for watching, and you have a good night.